Hello and welcome to another update video about DOT. DOT has come down a little bit lower, but has not yet taken out the low from the 13th of April. As per the last update, I'm actually watching for another low here, so it shouldn't be a surprise it's coming down. Even though, of course, the lower we go, okay, let's say the more probable it is that this overall wave 2 support area will break. It's just very clear. The closer we get to the 78.6 fib level, the higher the probability for a break, but at the same time, the market has not been able to generate a bullish structure, or let's say a clearly bullish structure from the April low. So obviously what we're doing here on this channel is basically nearly on a daily basis, identify the relevant structures, evaluate the relevant structures that we see on the chart. And so far there wasn't anything that was clearly bullish. It's very important to be aware of the relevant, let's say the structures, the fib levels and everything and how it goes together. This here was only corrective. It could have turned into a diagonal, but diagonals are looking very similar to corrections, and that's why I always say we cannot trust diagonals, and only a break above the $7.80 level would have made me more bullish directly. That's the green line. That was the upper boundary line of our trend channel. It's still on the chart, and that wasn't broken. So the overall correction is still unfolding. We have in our overall bullish scenario one very clear level that has been there like since March. Okay, it's the $4.60 level. And when that level breaks, then it's a clear signal from the market that this pullback is deeper than what it should have done. Or been. At the moment, it's just doing what it's, let's say, supposed to be doing in a wave 2. It's coming down. It's scaring people. Okay, that's what a wave 2 typically does. It will scare you. A lot of people getting doubts. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. There is no sign that the correction is over. Can I promise that the correction will end before we break $4.60? No, of course not. I mean, nobody knows where this correction will end, which is why I've spent a lot of time in recent weeks to make clear that we haven't got a low in place, or at least it's not clear, it's not confirmed, you know. So the mindset continues to be we go lower, or at least another low is highly likely until we get a first 5-wave move up that breaks above resistance. And I know a lot of people are, getting frustrated because it's always about the 5 waves and everything, but you see what happens if we don't get the 5 waves. Because I want to avoid that people get trapped, and it's very important to understand that so far the market hasn't given us a bottoming signal. Now, I've done a bit of work with this chart earlier today and added a microstructure, added a trend line that could give us really an early signal that a low might form or have formed. So in this structure here, you can see that this move to the downside can be considered wave Z of 2 in a very, very complex and rare WXYXZ structure. So my interpretation is that we're currently in this Z wave. Now that is speculative because a WXYXZ pattern is very rare. It's uncommon. So still, it's the best count I've got at the moment. And it literally just depends on whether the market can hold above 460 or not. Below 460, I will start to consider DOT dead money until the market can form a first 5-wave move up again and prove that something more bullish is playing out. Because, at the moment, again, it's not doing anything unusual. So the Z wave consists of a WXY structure and the Y wave of an ABC, and the C wave also doesn't look finished. So it should still go a bit lower. Earliest indication that a low is in would be a break above the descending trend line that I added earlier to the chart. And then let's say the next best signal would be a break above the B wave high at $6.92. Until one of those occurs, I think the focus needs to be on the downside. And the next downside levels to watch, and they've already been mentioned in the last video, are 566. So we are starting to move towards that level, and 550 and 499. Below 499, there's only one more level left at 460. Okay, what happens below that? Is DOT finished then? Is DOT going to be finished? I think it's worth talking about it, even though we're still far away from that level, but it's still worth talking about it. So no, below 460, DOT isn't necessarily finished. Yeah, a wave 2 can technically stretch all the way down to the 355 level in this case, the invalidation point. However, it's definitely not good and it indicates weakness. The altcoins continue to get outperformed by Bitcoin still in this cycle. And it is the 460 level where probabilities start to shift towards something more bearish. And it's the invalidation point where I really cannot interpret anything bullish into this structure anymore. So that's the difference, okay? Below 460, we're entering basically no man's land. Probabilities for a bearish count already increased. And below the 355 level, there's literally nothing bullish left. Yeah, that doesn't mean it couldn't. Of course, it can still rally then, but it needs to prove it again. Here, the price has already given us the first 5-wave move up, and this could be a 3-wave pullback. Obviously, it needs to hold here. So that's the test. 5 waves up, first confirmation. 3-wave pullback, second confirmation. But that's the test. That's eventually the second level of confirmation. Third level of confirmation that we are in a bullish market is a break above the wave 1 high. That hasn't happened yet. But again, it's always a question of reward and risk, because up here, when we break out, the reward to risk ratio isn't as good as it is now, right? So that's where people need to decide for themselves how much risk they're willing to take and so on. That's my update about DOT. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.